British Prime Minister David Cameron says intelligence shows a bomb may have brought down Russian Airbus A321.
City Councillor Rob Ford.
Rob Ford starts chemotherapy today at Mount Sinai Hospital in Toronto.
Ford underwent surgery for...
The city is going to the goats! The 90th Royal Agricultural Winter Fair starts today.
Hi, and welcome to Humber News. I'm Andy Redding, coming to you from our newsroom here at Humber College North Campus. We start with breaking news this hour. U.S. President Barack Obama has rejected the Keystone Pipeline. Obama spoke with Prime Minister Trudeau earlier today and summarized their conversation in a news conference.
And while he expressed his disappointment, given Canada's position on this issue, we both agreed that our close friendship on a whole range of issues, including energy and climate change, should provide the basis for even closer coordination between our countries going forward.
President Obama says he did not believe the pipeline would benefit the U.S. economy and that the top priority for his administration is tackling climate change now. Trudeau says he promises to work hard with like-minded countries to combat climate change. Russian President Vladimir Putin has suspended all flights to Egypt. The decision comes after UK and US intelligence said there's evidence a bomb brought down the Russian jet that crashed in Egypt on Saturday. Britain says it received intelligence based on intercepted communications between militants in the Sinai Peninsula. Egyptian officials have dismissed the claims, saying it will be months before any conclusions can be made. All 224 people on board were killed in the crash. At least 2 people are dead and dozens injured after a dam collapsed in Brazil. The dam burst last night, devastating the surrounding area and forcing hundreds of families to evacuate. Food, clothes, and other donations poured in for the families forced to flee to an improvised shelter. The dam collapsed at an iron ore in the Brazil state of Minas Gerais. Officials say it is too early to know the reason for the disaster and the extent of the damage. Rescuers say the number of people killed will likely rise as the search efforts continue. Rob Ford is back in the news. The councillor is undergoing chemotherapy for 2 tumors found on his bladder.
I feel better than I ever have in my life, and now I'm just right back to square one.
Ford has been admitted to Mount Sinai Hospital. A statement from his office says Ford has been at the hospital several times this week and is undergoing more tests. It was announced last week that doctors had discovered a tumor on his bladder. Ford underwent surgery in May to remove a large cancerous tumor from his abdomen. Some dramatic health news today out of England. A 1-year-old girl with incurable leukemia has been given another shot at life. She's the first human to try cell therapy that creates designer cells. Baby Layla's family used the experimental edited cells as a last-ditch effort to save their child. After treatment with T cells, she was found to be cancer-free.
It does mean we have a new weapon, and it does mean, therefore, that children like Layla, who really are up against it, now have something that we can do.
Clinical trials of the therapy will begin next year. There's a new Conservative leader in town. Alberta MP and former Health Minister Rona Ambrose has been chosen as the interim leader of the Conservative Party.
We have a fantastic team of senators and of parliamentarians that are going to hold the Liberals accountable, hold the government accountable, but be extremely constructive.
Ambrose congratulated Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, but says the Conservatives will hold their ground.
We have an incredibly strong, confident party. We feel very optimistic about our chances in the next election, and we are going to be working hard to come back to power.
Ambrose spoke highly of former Prime Minister Stephen Harper, but says her position could mean a new tone for the Conservatives. Stats Canada has released its job report for Ontario for October, and it appears the economy has exceeded expectations. 44,000 jobs were added last month, and the unemployment rate is down to 7%. October total is 4 times more than the expected amount. Ontario, Manitoba, New Brunswick, and BC saw the biggest jump, with Alberta actually losing around 11,000 jobs. You thought BlackBerry's smartphone game went kaput? Well, you thought wrong. Maybe. BlackBerry is back in the marketplace today after releasing its BlackBerry Priv model. More is at stake than usual for the Canadian-based company with this release, however. If sales flop, it could be BlackBerry's swan song in the cell phone market. In a last-ditch effort to regain some of its former glory, the Priv is BlackBerry's first phone using the Android operating system. BlackBerry hopes combining the Android system with its classic keyboard design will catch the eye and wallet of consumers. Here at home, it's the first day of an annual Canadian tradition. Our reporter, Tanya Veneri, is live at the exhibition grounds among 2- and 4-legged friends. Hey Tanya, what's happening?
Andy. We're here at the 93rd Annual Royal Agricultural Winter Fair, and there's a ton of things going on here. Let's take a look at what's been happening. Country meets the big city over the next 2 weeks as animals, food, and family fun take over the exhibition with vendors from all over Canada. Mayor John Tory and Turbo the Goat were here earlier this morning to kick off the fair.
I'm just delighted to be here, and I've been coming to the Royal Winter Fair since I was a boy. I have fond memories of the awe in which you saw the butter sculptures and, of course, seeing the animals, which was something, if you were a city boy as I was, you weren't necessarily accustomed to seeing.
Not only is the fair a fun-filled event, it's also an educational experience for us city slickers. Over 6,000 animals arrive in Toronto each year, and they bring their farmers along for the ride. I'm here with Carl Allison at the Royal Winter Fair, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his llama.
Okay, her name is Sherry. She's 8 years old. She's already had a little one. This was about 4 years ago. I bring her here from Delhi, Ontario, which is about half hour south of Woodstock.
And so what does this do for you and for Sherry when you guys come to a Royal Winter Fair every year?
Hopefully it educates some children, especially city kids, about what's available when it comes to farm animals. Everybody thinks sheep, cow, goats, you know what I mean? But some people raise llamas and alpacas.
Over 320,000 people visit the fair each year to experience the mothership of all fall fairs.
With this particular one, I'm not sure how many hours they do it, but
if Turbo could find his way to the Royal, so can you. Tanya Beneri, Humber News. Now back to you, Andy, in the newsroom.
After some fun at the fair, it's time to get down to business. Grade 12s across the province are making decisions about their post-secondary education. Our reporter, Christina Romualdo, talked to current students about their transition to college.
High school students are starting to apply to universities and colleges. Here at Humber, students give their insights on what they wish they knew before coming to school.
A lot of people think that from movies and stuff that your profs don't care about you, but especially in college, they'll actually accept your answers. They actually want you to come and talk to them and tell them what your problems are so they can actually help you out.
If you do really bad on a test or an assignment, just don't ponder on it and don't harp on it. Just kind of, know what your next steps are to progress better.
Going to college can be a challenge. Humber students' advice?
Just dress appropriately for a regular day because you don't know who you're going to run into. You might run into your VP or the dean of your school.
Someone gave me a good quote that helped me through my anxiety dealing with school. Everything is hard before it's easy.
The number one advice I would definitely give them is look at all your options. I was never told that college was an option. I spent 4 years in university before this, and it was a great learning experience, but college is giving me a career that I can have passion for.
High school students have a big decision ahead of them. For those interested in Humber, the open house is tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and all 3 campuses will be open.
So coming tomorrow, students can expect to meet faculty in their program, learn the in-depth information about the program that they're going to be going into, see their labs and facilities, take a campus tour, and also speak to current students in their program.
Whether you're interested in university or college, philosophy or firefighting, the first step to success is doing your research. Christina Romualdo, Humber News.
When we come back, we'll tell you what's happening in the world of sports, and Greg Chow will have your 3-day forecast.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little confused. Where did our lovely week go? First it's rainy all day, then cold all night. Mother Nature, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? I'll have your full details after the break.
But let's not complain too much, Greg. This wave rolled into Sydney, but not the kind surfers are used to. Locals caught an apocalyptic thunderstorm on camera as it came barreling into the city. The storm didn't cause any extensive damage, but left residents with headaches after major road and train delays. Talk about a tsunami of clouds! And it was some pretty big storms that made Mars look the way it does today. We call it the red planet now, but NASA says that about 4 billion years ago, Mars looked a lot like Earth.
Appears to meet all of the conditions required for life, or to have met them at the surface in the past. And that begs the question of whether there was ever any life there.
New research shows that Mars was once a warm, water-filled environment. Solar winds appeared to have stripped Mars' atmosphere over time, turning it into the cold, desolate planet it is today. NASA says Mars is still the only planet in our solar system that humans could potentially colonize. We'll be back after a short break, but for now, we leave you with this. Over 2,000 people in Seoul have made an enormous supply of South Korea's most famous food. They all gathered at City Hall Square today for an annual kimchi festival. They made 25 tons of the spicy cabbage dish to distribute to the poor. The UN added kimchi to its intangible cultural heritage list in 2013. Let's just hope there was 25 tons of breath mints on hand for the event as well.